Hello, you are welcome to another interesting topic on how to brood your chick for effective results. If you are a poultry farmer or perhaps a beginner, you always buy brooded birds, you have not for one day brooded your own by yourself, you have not ever tried it. I'm making this particular content, this particular video for you so that you learn how to brood your day-old chicks. There are things you need for you to have an effective brooding process. You need a thermometer, you need drinkers, you need feeders, you need tray feeders, you need brooding room. You also need heater. You still need light, both electric, that is direct current, alternate current. You need gas brooding heater, or you need charcoal pot, or whatever you think is convenient for you to do that. This particular content is for you. In this particular content, it's going to be a 21-day brooding scheme. In these 21 days, we are going to start from day 1 till the 21st day, and you see the development of the chicks right from the first day, right from arrival till the end. Let me emphasize it here that once the chicks arrive, assuming you don't hatch your own birds, once the chicks arrive from wherever you might have booked them or from your suppliers, the first thing you do is what? Hydrate them. Most of the birds, if you check their legs, you see that their legs are already dried because they are dehydrated, completely dried. Throughout the period of the journey, there was no food, there was no water. You know how they will feel. They will be too tasty, they will be too hungry. They don't give them food immediately they arrive. First thing you need to do is to give them clean, neat water. If you have anything that can energize them, you can add it to the water. Something like glucose, something like sugar and salt, anything that will give them enough strength for them to drink. But don't give them food. I always see people, before the arrival of the birds, they first of all put food on all the whole feeders. Food is not the ultimate for them on arrival. So the first thing you need to do is, I know that the birds will not arrive too early. Warming your brooding house 24 hours, 36 hours, 1 week, 10 years before brooding doesn't have any meaning. If they are coming from a very far distance, before they arrive here, it should be maybe in the daytime, depending on your location anyway. Depending on the weather of your own particular region also, it matters. If your place is cold, yes, you can warm the brooding room. If it's not cold, if you are already in a heat period, there's no need warming the room for them. Just place them with neat water. If you don't have anything to add to the water, just give them clean, neat water. Let them get energized. Then all those ones that cannot drink on themselves, you help them put their mouths. The attendant should be there, ready to attend to them, put their mouth on the drinker so that they will be able to drink. They will drink enough water. Once they drink enough water, you see them energized, you see them running around, see them moving around. Most especially when the weather temperature is accurate and conducive for them, they will run around. Those ones that are clustering together, please go and separate them and put their mouth on that water to take that water. It's always good for you to give them vitamins during that arrival period, or you give them glucose and water if you have. It's not compulsory. If you don't have, neat, clean water is good for them through that period. After that time, some hours, maybe about 6 or 5 hours thereabout, you can now give them food and let there be water steadily. So in this particular video, please watch the remaining parts. This is the day 1. I've done those ones already. I just dedicated this particular bed for this particular training because a lot of people have been asking me questions on the comment section. Please, how do I know how to brood? I want to brood by myself. So I separated this particular bed and brought it in for this particular purpose. And we're going to take it from this day 1 till the 21st day. So watch it till the end. Make sure you follow this series if you want to get it right. Follow the series and learn from each of the days what we do right, so that you'll be able to do it the same thing and apply the same thing and get the same result. I'm telling you, we set up this. The minimum of birds we use here is 50 birds, which is 1 carton. Though there's 1 extra for mortality, but here we don't experience anything like mortality. Those 51 birds will come out on the 21 day also. You see them. Watch. I wish you the best. Now, let's go down to the brooding room. See it now. This is the day 1 of the brooding. You can see this is a mini poultry brooder. Mini poultry brooder. This is a mini scale poultry brooder. This is for a beginner. As a beginner, you can start with 50 birds, which is 1 carton in my location. Now, this is a mini brooder. You can see light here. There are 2 lights. One is electric light, which is alternate current. The second one there is direct current. Watch the birds. You can see how comfortable they are, evenly spread. Watch that they are evenly spread. They are not clustered together. This is a sign that the temperature is adequate for them. You can watch, see them. If you are brooding your bird as a beginner and the birds are evenly spread in your brooder, you can see this is a mini brooder. This brooder capacity is 400 birds for 3 weeks. To take 100 birds for 3 weeks. And 3 weeks is the maximum for brooding a broiler chick. Some people brood for 2 weeks, some brood for 1 week, but 3 weeks is the maximum. You can see that they are evenly spread. They are not clustered together. Here you have the tray feeder. Here you have the tray feeder for starting. This is the day 1. You can watch that they are not feeling cold at all. In this particular training, I'll also show you how they look like, how the brooder look like when the birds are feeling cold. In this particular situation, this is night. You can see they are not eating much now because they are fed, they are well fed. Watch their chest. You can see that their chest is filled up. They are well fed. That's why they are not eating. You can see some of them are drinking. Here, as beginning stage, they have 1 drinker. Day 1, you don't need to bombard them with antibiotics. You only need to add little multivitamin or Vitalite in their water to energize them because they have traveled far. Perhaps you don't hatch your own birds and their birds travel from a far distance, from different region. You need to add multivitamin in their water. Here you have a thermometer. You can see it. These are things that you must have. You can see what the thermometer is giving me. It's giving me 32 degrees centigrade. Brooding for the first stage takes 30 to 33 degrees centigrade for the first day. It's adequate for them. That's why they are comfortable here. You can see them. They are comfortable. This is night. I'll still show you how they will feel in the daytime on the first day, the first 24 hours of life. You can watch it. You can see it here. See them here. They're not eating now because they are well fed. You can see the food. You can see the floor. Some people, some farmers may likely put papers on the floor on the first day. For me, this is my field. This is over 3 decades in this particular profession. I don't see it as necessary because most of the times it stains their body because the paper hardly dry their droppings. Because their droppings at the early stage of their life is always watery. You can see. Because this particular pen is open now, the temperature is dropping. You see, when I started it was 33, but now it's 30 because I opened the pen. And you can now see that they are feeling a bit cold because the temperature is dropping. Watch the temperature. Temperature is now dropping to 30. They are now feeling cold. You can see them now clustering. Are you seeing them now clustering? Because the temperature is dropping. See the temperature. You see it? When I opened this, it was 33, but now it's 30 because their brooding pen is open. They are clustering. If I close it back within the next 5 minutes, the temperature will increase. This is one drinker for 50 birds on the day one. This is because there is vitamin here in this particular water. And the vitamin here is organic. It's organic vitamin. This is purely organic brooding. Throughout the 3 weeks, what they will be taking is organic extracts. You can see them here. You can see a vent there. You can see that hole there is a vent. You can see them here. There are 2 lights here. This is electric light. You can see the electric light, which is alternate current. You can see this light is direct current. Why? This is to make sure that they have steady light here. Assuming the electricity goes off, this one is automatically on. It's always on. You can see it. There are 2 here. You can see the 2 lights here. This is dim. This is bright. You can see the temperature dropping. Now, you can see that this pen is large enough to contain 100 birds for 3 weeks. But we did not give them the whole brooding pen at once. Monitor this and watch it carefully. I didn't give them the whole space at once. This training is for those that are just starting. They are new into the business. You can start with average of 1 carton. But it is also good that you buy brooded birds. Maybe you buy 50 or 30 or 20, depending on your capacity. But if you want to go into brooding, with this training, you can start with brooding. Now, you can see that this place is demarcated. You can see the demarcation here. This demarcation, I did not mark it very well. Mark my word clearly. I did not demarcate this with the carton, with the chicken carton. It is wrong to use the chicken carton. The carton that the manufacturers or the hatchers use to transport this chicken to you. Please don't keep those cartons around you. Most of those cartons are already infected. If you keep them around you, that is why most of you, before the end of your brooding, you lose more than 50% of your chicken, or if not all, due to infection. At times you start complaining that the mistake is from the hatchery. This is because those cartons are already contaminated with either viral or bacterial infection, and if you keep them in the same brooder or in the same brooding room, they will infect your birds. Perhaps it's a viral infection. It means you are automatically going to lose almost all the birds you are brooding. This is a demarcation here. This is another portion, another section. You can see the heat source. I'm going to teach you how to use a lantern, how to use charcoal, and how to use gas. These are 3 main source of heat. You can see this is a charcoal. Listen and watch carefully. I did not feed the whole of this charcoal at once. Some of you will feed the whole of this charcoal to provide heat. At the end time, before you know it, the heat will be too much. You can see because we have only few birds here. This is 51 birds here. We have little quantity of charcoal. It's not even up to 5 pieces inside. It's not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 5 of them, but they have broken into pieces. Just 5 pieces of charcoal is enough. So you only be adding little quantity, maybe 1, 2, 1, 2. As the charcoal is dropping, you'll be adding 1, 2. Please don't feed the whole charcoal pot with charcoal and feed them with fire. It's going to stampede them. The temperature will be too high. You can watch because this place is open. You can see the temperature is dropping to 30 to 28 now. You can see it is 28. You can see, let me clear it well. You can see it now. See the kind of wood shelving I'm using here, you can see it's dropping to 28 degrees centigrade. You can see they are still drinking water at 28. So you can see that they are clustering together because the weather, the temperature is dropping. You can see it. As it's dropping, they are feeling cold. So those of you that are calling me, sending messages that their chicken are not eating, even in the daytime, is because the temperature is not adequate for them. There is no how they can eat with a low temperature. You must have this thermometer. The first day of their life should be between 30 to 35 degrees centigrade. That is the range of the temperature for the first day that will be adequate for them. You can see they are clustering. Why are they clustering together? Because the temperature is dropping to 28. They are clustering. You can see them clustering together. Why are they clustering? They are clustering to make sure they touch each and everybody together to generate heat, to transfer heat from one another. That's why they are clustering, because the heat is not enough, because the brooder is open. The whole heat from this source is going out. Once I close it, the next 5 minutes, you see them spread evenly. Now, why do you have this pot? This pot, there's water in this pot. This is humidity. This is uncommon for most of you. You don't know the reason for this. You can as well place this on top of this is a charcoal pot. You can still place it on top here. You can see it. You can place it here. You see it here. Are you seeing it? This is humidity. These chickens need adequate temperature and humidity for them to survive. Some of you will only put charcoal with fire, and before you know it, you overheat the place. Without humidity, the birds cannot survive. There should be humidity. You can see there's water here. You can see this water is very hot. See, it's hot. This will give the adequate humidity for them. Right now, let me drop this because I want to the heat to come up. This particular portion is where we'll still spray them. I'll still, in this particular training, teach you how to combine both Noila or different breeds of birds in the same brooder. So for here, I will end this particular one here. We'll continue from where we stop. This is electric light. Let me put off the electric light now. The electric is gone. What we have here now is the direct current. Now, this is the water. I'll close this back. In some minutes, I'll still come back and we'll know how they will work. You'll see when the temperature increases, you see them spread. Thank you for watching. We'll continue from here. This is part 1. This is day 1 of the brooding.